Good Tuesday evening. I almost said Wednesday. Good Tuesday evening, South Carolina weather watchers. I am the host for South Carolina Weather, Justin Peterson, and let's go ahead and talk about the weather for your Tuesday night going into your Wednesday morning. Now, going on ahead and looking at the radar right now, if you look down near us in South Carolina right now, the radar does look pretty clear for us right now, so that is a great thing. We do have some rain just off to the coast. It's kind of being kind of stationary right now, kind of staying in this little boundary right here. But other than that, that is that. And then we do have some rain up here inside of Iowa. A couple of sprinkles over there, a couple of sprinkles of snow and some rain in North Dakota. And the West is obviously seeing this huge deluge of rain and mixed precipitation going through the West right now. That is going to move east into the Rockies and try and do something. It's going to try and move in and potentially cause some snow on the top side and some rain on the bottom side. We'll see what it does though. As we go ahead and look at our cloud cover. Cloud cover right now is looking pretty clear. No cloud cover right now is really cloud cover right now is not really looking to be too much of a problem. Looks like it will be a nice and clear night tonight. So that's something great to hear. Current temperatures right now 47 inside of Columbia, 44 inside of Florence, 58 near Charleston, 50 in Augusta, 48 in Savannah. And I don't know, my current temperatures have been buggy. You see Myrtle Beach is not popping up. Wilmington, Fayetteville, Raleigh, and Greenville are just, for some reason, not popping up like they're supposed to. So, I don't know. I mean, I've tried to refresh it. Maybe if I probably if I refresh it a couple enough times, it probably will be back. But I want it to where it never does this again. But it's glitch. But Myrtle Beach, you probably around the same as Charleston, probably the high 40s, low 50s. I say that. Atlanta 51, Macon 49, Athens 44. And that's actually crazy how I look at it. If you look at Atlanta, you see how there's like a little like heat spot. It's like once you get to Atlanta, I guess maybe because it's a huge area and there's a lot of lights in that region, it might warm the region a little bit. So that's kind of why there is so much. Because I mean, look at Atlanta and then look at Athens. I mean, Athens not too much, not really as populated, not too much populated than Atlanta, obviously, but they're in the 40s. So just to show you what high population can do. 49 in Huntsville, 51 in Birmingham, 49 in Montgomery, 55 in Jackson, 57 in Baton Rouge, 59 in New Orleans, 54 in Mobile and to the north, 43, 44, sorry, 45 inside of Charlotte, 43 in Chattanooga, 44 in Knoxville, 54 in Memphis. Now here's our minimum temperature for tonight. Minimum temperatures can reach around 32 throughout most of the Midlands, and part of the upstate might not be in the freezing temperatures because if you see the blues are kind of like you see like those light to dark blues, those are freezing temperatures. But then once you get to like the really dark blues, starting to get into even the dark greens, that's where it gets like the 30, like just like the high 30s and stuff like that. So most of us will be below freezing, but I feel like that if you're inside the low country, um, Georgetown County, Southern Horry County, going up into, I think that is up there in like the western upstate, you guys are good. 32 in Columbia, 30 in Sumter, 32 in Florence, 38 in Myrtle Beach, 41 in Charleston, 32 in, I think that is the very southern upstate. I gotta figure out what that town name is. 33 in Greenville, Spartanburg, 32 in Augusta. So that is our freezing temperatures for tonight. Let's go ahead and look at our max wind gust. Max wind gust around 10 to 15 miles an hour is all we have to worry about, so nothing there. The max gust I got today for my Sane Logic weather station says around 13.2 miles per hour. So that is that. Here's our 24-hour precipitation total. Seems like we do have no precipitation is expected for the next 24 hours from 7 p.m. tonight going to 7 p.m. tomorrow night. So, no rain we have to worry about. I told y'all we are inside of a quiet period. I'm right so far. Nothing's really showing. But if we, since it's the nighttime, we can talk about this. If we go 48 hours out, as you can see, as it loads up real quick. You know, I'm not like one of those TV. Oh, actually, I know one thing that could help is if I close out my radar because I'm not using it. 48 hours decided to not do its thing. But if you look at 72 hours out, this ends Friday at 7 p.m. Looks like, I mean, we have a bunch of rain, it seems, pretty much seems like from, especially Myrtle Beach all the way through Florence and Sumter around 2/10 of an inch, everyone else around a tenth of an inch. Maybe a trace down there just at the very, very southern, kind of like near like Savannah region. But if we go like a full on 7 days out, around the same thing. So I really think that this rain's probably gonna hit us around Thursday night, going into Friday morning. So watch for the rain there, and I will update y'all when we get closer to that, obviously. But here is our day one severe weather outlook. If we read the discussion, it says isolated thunderstorms will remain possible tonight as a series of embedded shortwave troughs rotate inland over southwest Oregon, central California, and southern California. Additional lightning flashes over the next few hours over southwest Oregon into central California. Uh, and the potential for isolated thunderstorm will increase late tonight into early Wednesday across Southern California as well. So that is that. Let's go ahead and look at tomorrow. We do have a marginal risk of severe weather tomorrow for Springfield, Missouri, Joplin, Missouri, Bartlesville, Oklahoma, Bella Vista, Arkansas, and Pittsburgh, Kansas is under a marginal risk of excessive rainfall that does come with a 5% chance of damaging hail. So that pretty much this is going to be from late Wednesday evening into Thursday night. I don't know if that's a typo or not, but it says there's a marginal risk of severe thunderstorms late Wednesday evening into Thursday night. It may mean like early Thursday morning, but yeah, I think that is I think that may be a typo from the Storm Prediction Center there. But it does say a localized area of strong thunderstorm development is possible, and pretty much the risk for some 1 inch in diameter hail is possible in that dark green region. Everyone else that's around it, some small hail is possible. Seems like, yeah, I'm looking through. Yeah, just some. If you're inside the, well, if you know anybody inside the green risk, like the dark green, the marginal over it, a chance for some 1 inch in diameter hail, but everyone else around that, pretty much some small hail is possible. And if you look over to the west, we even have a TSTM over there, probably just for some lightning flashes. I'm not really expecting anything too big. And then we do have a day 3 severe thunderstorm outlook as well. This is just a TSTM. This is for Thursday going on into Friday. Right, it almost enters South Carolina, but it does not quite make it there. Seems like if we read, showers and isolated thunderstorms will likely be going on, from thing tomorrow's severe outlook. It looks like a few thunderstorms may develop, and as of right now, I'm not seeing anything. I'm not seeing anything too bad with this, so we might just have some isolated thunderstorms in this region, the Ohio Valley, and going through the Mississippi Valley as well. So that is that. And now let's go ahead and talk about our excessive rainfall. So excessive rainfall right now is looking to be pretty dangerous still for California. They still do have that moderate risk of excessive rainfall for Los Angeles, and that slight risk in the yellow, the green for the marginal. We go to tomorrow. Tomorrow we do have a marginal risk of excessive rainfall for San Diego and Los Angeles. And then for our day 3, we do have a marginal risk of excessive rainfall for Ohio, Indiana, Kentucky, and West Virginia, and southwestern Pennsylvania. There's a 5% chance of seeing flash flooding within 25 miles of a given location. And then here is the GFS model. We're going to go ahead and look forward in the future, see what the GFS has to share. Looks like what the GFS has to share. There goes that severe weather potential that's going to kick off there inside the Missouri, Kansas regions right there. This kind of does skip over it, but if you go to like the NAM 3 kilometer model and you push forward through to through tomorrow, you can see those storms starting to pop up in this region around 5 a.m. tomorrow morning. That's just how late it's gonna be for these storms. I mean, you can see them right here. Around 4 a.m. is when those storms are gonna pop off tomorrow. Inside of not tomorrow, but the morning after tomorrow. So like tomorrow night going into, I think this is the 22nd. So yeah, Thursday. So going into Thursday morning is when that severe hail potential is going to happen. And then once you can see these rain and these thunderstorms that are going to start trailing east. That's going to cause the potential for more thunderstorms, as you can see, and it's also going to cause the potential for flash flooding as well. If we go ahead and look at the total accumulated precipitation, we can see a good 1 to 2 inches of rain could fall near northern Indiana and northern Ohio, going into Pennsylvania and places like that. We also do have an inch of rain that can fall, isolated inches of rain that can fall in Kentucky and Illinois, Indiana, places like that. Um, but the severe weather risk is there. It's total snowfall, nothing too big to worry about. But let's go back to the GFS because we're talking about us, not severe weather. So here we go. We push this forward. We will get some showers Thursday. I would not even be surprised if some gusty winds came with this because there we will be taken over by cold air again, which means a cold front. So I mean, we do have the potential of seeing some gusty winds come through the region Thursday night into Friday morning. So I will be watching for that wind gust map to update going into Thursday night and Friday morning. But then as soon as those showers pass us, we'll be under a high pressure. Warm weather will return, and this is pretty much going through the 27th. And we have a huge storm system here, potentially causing some very gusty winds up there in Canada, causing maybe potentially some severe weather going through a lot of the region. I mean, look at the snow that comes through after it. So yeah, potentially some severe weather outbreak, quote unquote, is not out the question. You have that bowling ball trough, that cold air that will be pushing eastward, and we go ahead and look at the dew points on the this thing. As I don't know if it has, I don't think it does. But let's go ahead and keep on pushing it forward. I'll pull it up on my other screen. But as we push this forward, that moves out the way. High pressure takes us back over, and then California gets hit with another round of high elevation snow and flooding rains. Pushes further east, and we have another storm system. This one I am kind of concerned about because of the way how it's shaped. It has that low pressure, has snow on the top side, going into the back, and potential severe weather for Alabama going into Georgia, and maybe even the upstate of South Carolina going into the low country and the PD towards Myrtle Beach and Charleston. So, but this is 384 hours out, so don't be scared. Don't be like, oh, well, is it gonna happen? You know, like, is something gonna be canceled? You know, like work, school, anything like that. Don't be thinking about that because we're still 384 hours out, and there's nothing to worry about as of right now. But let's go ahead and show the other model, the model that I just pulled up. If we go to forecast loop, you can see as this thing is loading, you can see the thing we just talked about as we push this forward, the chance for that severe weather. As you can see, there it goes, and it pushes off. So that is the GFS model for this run. This one does not show kind of as much as the other ones were showing, which is kind of weird to see that for some reason the Tropical Tidbits model was showing, for the GFS was showing like a bit of a more interesting situation, while this one is really only showing nothing as bad as not as bad as we thought. If we click on this, let me see. It does say no severe weather. So, but then we have the next one that comes through after it. The one that I'm paying attention to is this one right here. But let's go ahead and check out the severe weather potential. See what the world's going on. So here, this is around. I think this is around 200 hours out. So we have dew points. Dew points need to be in the 60s, obviously, for us to have severe weather. We talked about the severe weather triangle. With the triangle, we need to have at least 60-degree dew points, or at least high 50s, low 60s. So, as you can see, the severe weather potential tomorrow for Kansas, Missouri, they have 50-degree dew points. That's about enough to see severe weather. So as we push this forward some more, we do have 50-degree dew points with the next system, but we're not really focused on severe weather for that system, so we can just scroll past that. We don't need anything about that. But once we get to around 200 hours out, look at these dew points. There goes the storm system. As you can see, 60-degree dew points all throughout the board. Would not be surprised. Would not be surprised one bit if we saw some severe weather down into Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, places like that, maybe even Alabama, Georgia, Florida. But if you look at us, we do have those 50-degree dew points. Some of us, especially Myrtle Beach, can hit around 60-degree dew points as well. So that is that. And let's go ahead and talk about the upper wind, which I'm pretty sure, I'm like 90% sure we do have enough wind up in the atmosphere to support for severe weather for this is the 29th. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, we're close to the 29th. And as you can see, the wind is going to be there in the atmosphere. It's going to be there, so we don't have to worry about that. Going on to Cape, though. Cape is another thing that if we don't have Cape, no severe weather is going to happen. This is the main factor as we push this forward. As we get to close to mark, we do potentially have a chance of seeing severe weather again down in Texas, like I talked about. And I think I just saw potential for severe weather that's like in Illinois, where they have a tornado signature. So if the dew points are there and if the wind is there, potentially some severe weather in Illinois, Missouri, Texas, Louisiana, going up towards Chicago. We push this further east, and the Cape kind of tries to skip over us and kind of continue over into continue into the ocean. So we may be spared for severe weather. We may be spared, but definitely some heavy wind and some heavy winds and some heavy rainfall is definitely possible with some of these storms as they pass by us later into March, kind of like March the 6th, kind of that region. But that's gonna about wrap this video up. Thank you all so much for watching this forecast update, and I will see y'all tomorrow with another forecast update.